Welcoming John to the Hall of Fame are Larry Brown and Pat Riley. Ladies and gentlemen, John Calipari.
Well, I have sat in those seats in awe as my heroes were inducted into this hall. This is surreal for me. This seems bigger than me. Friends who have already been inducted in this hall have told me you're going to feel emotions when you walk up on that stage. And I can tell you right now, I'm feeling those. I think back to the coaches, all the administrators, all the players, and all the friends. It's an overwhelming emotion. With that said, I would like to thank the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame, Jerry Colangelo, John DeLeva, Sherman Brown, Scotty Zuffalato, and we've heard about Fran, and all Fran has done. And all the people who voted to make this night possible, not only for me, but for all of us. And also, congratulations to all these inductees. You guys are so deserving. Congratulations. I would also like to thank my 3 Hall of Fame presenters, 2 who are here with us tonight. One of the great coaches, not only of this era, but of any era, who has been there with me and been my protector throughout my career, Larry Brown. A Kentucky alum who has proven himself to be one of the best coaches and one of the best executives in the history of the NBA. He's been a confidant for years for me, and he's been a friend many more years than that. Thanks, Pat. Pat Riley. My third presenter could not be here tonight, a UMass alum, one of the best players to ever play our great game, and someone who's been a resource for me in my early days at UMass, Julius Erving, Dr. J. Coaches get these kind of awards because of others, and that starts with a loving, supportive family. My wife, Ellen, has put up with me for 29 years. I think it's 29. She deserves to be in the hall herself. She sacrificed. She has sacrificed many things so I could chase my dreams. She's a great partner and a great mother, not only to our children, but to all the players we've coached. They absolutely love her birthday brownies, I can tell you. Yes, I hear some yeses back there. We've done this together, Ellen. I love you. Thank you. My 3 children, Aaron, Megan, and Bradley, had to sacrifice as well. They opened their hearts to a lot of young men from around the country and around the world and made sure they felt part of our family. They did this knowing that it would take some of my time away from them. They did it anyway. I'm so proud of not only what you've become, but who you've become, all 3 of you. Love you guys. I was blessed to have grown up with hardworking, loving parents, 2 great sisters. My mother, Donna Calipari, passed away 4 Novembers ago. She was the dreamer. She would always say, dream big dreams. The other thing she taught us was dream beyond your surroundings. You can be whoever you want to be. I miss her uplifting spirit, but I know she's here tonight. My dad, Vince Calipari, the hardest working man I've ever met. He taught me what the grind was. He would work double shifts and then come home and work in the yard and drag me out there with him on my hands and knees pulling weeds. He was the Pied Piper. He learned to be a gatherer, and he taught me what a gatherer was. Love you, Dad. He's here today, too. My two great sisters, Terry and Lee, are here with their husbands, Rick and Dennis, and my in-laws. If I don't mention my in-laws, my wife gets very angry. They're great people. Ray and Sue, thank you for making me your son. Appreciate and love you guys too. And as a coach, I'm having to recognize a lot of people, so I hope you understand that a coach, there's so many people that help you. I want to say thank you to the only two personal assistants I've had in my entire career. They've basically run my life, and without them, I'm lost. Where's Bonnie Martin Otto from my UMass days? And my current assistant for the last 16 years, Lenitha Pryor. Where are you, Lenitha? All right, I've got to introduce my entire staff. So guys, stand up. Stand up, guys. Guys from UMass, where are you? Stand up. No, not you players. You weren't on my staff. You were playing. Where are those guys from UMass, from Memphis, the Nets, and Kentucky, including my current guys? Go ahead, stand up. Orlando, I see you. Kenny. Go ahead, guys. Where are you? Chad, John Robick, Billy Bano, Bruiser Flint. I've been given more credit than I deserve, whether it be in recruiting, coaching, or teaching, because they got it done for our players. You all own a piece of this night, guys, so thank you. I've got to introduce my high school coach, Bill Sacco. I learned from him at an early age about relationships and bringing young people together to fight for each other. He got us to believe in something that was unbelievable because he took us to the playoffs for the first time in 25 years. He's here today with his wife, Lana. Where are you, Coach Sacco? There he is, Coach Sacco. My college coach, Joe DiGregorio from Clarion University, is here with his wife, Emmy. Never in my time have I ever seen him down, not when I was a player and never as my mentor. He was always up, always prepared, always passionate, and it continues today. He taught me a great lesson for early in my career. You can have a champagne program on a beer budget, didn't you? Don't listen to that Mitch at Kentucky, because we ain't doing that. Both of these men have been at every big event in my life, including all of our Final Fours in the national championship game. Not only have I made the hall, you two have as well. Congratulations. My grandparents came through Ellis Island. They didn't speak a lick of English. Now their grandson stands before you, which tells you I had a lot of help. I knew I couldn't possibly introduce everyone in the time I have because I didn't want to get Fran fired either. So we had a reception this afternoon, and I got to thank them all personally. So again, thank you. You are all part of our family. Thank you, folks. You know who you are. Now, just got to do two things. The journey that I've been on, I've been so blessed, and it's been a crazy journey. You know, as you'll see, there have been some unbelievable highs and some pretty low lows. And as I look back on this, it's all pretty amazing. It started at the 5-star basketball camp as a camper and as a counselor. Will Klein and Howard Garfinkel were here for the 5-star guys here. I got fired many times by Howard Garfinkel, but I learned how to coach, how to teach, how to put a team together, and the relationships I created there, it's how I formed my first staff. I went to Kansas to work their basketball camp. The coach at the time was Ted Owens. He comes up to me after 2 weeks and says, I want you to stay on my staff. And I said, really? As a volunteer? How much does that pay? I had an unbelievable time and learned from a great gentleman. And then my good friend and mentor, Larry Brown, rolls in and hires me as a part-time assistant. Gave me a greatest lesson. Taught me, he said, if you care about the kids and their success, you'll always have a job. And you're right. I get my first full-time job at Pittsburgh, Roy Chipman and Paul Evans. Are my Pittsburgh fans here or family? Where are you guys? We got some Pittsburgh guys here. I then get the UMass job because no one wanted the job. I was UMass's third choice, but I was my wife's third choice, and that worked out okay, so I was fine. Frank McInerney and Dave Bischoff showed more confidence in me than I had in myself. And then Bob Markham joined as an AD, and we went to another level. Bob's here, Markham, and a bunch of my UMass UME friends. Where are you guys? Thank you for being here. Then the Nets. Brian, the Nets. I figured for what they paid me, they deserve 2 mentions. I say that in all seriousness. I learned more basketball. They opened up my mind to what this game is about and made me a better teacher so that I could do a better job. So I'm indebted to the Nets. I got fired, and Larry Brown, my protector, was there again, and I joined his staff at the 76ers. And it was the greatest year of my life, because all I worried about is how could I help him succeed. I got the call about Memphis. There you go. There are Memphis guys here. R.C. Johnson, he's here with his wife Melba. We go down and we had some fun for 9 years. Then I received the call that all coaches wait for. Mitch Barnhart calls me from Kentucky. He calls and asks if I'm interested in their job. I want you to understand, he said, this is a different place. And he was right. But I always wondered how I would do at a place like that. I knew building programs from scratch, and I knew coaching at places that didn't get the respect they deserved. I knew all that, I'd lived it. But I wanted to know on the biggest of big stages, could we create the gold standard for college athletics that would be emulated? Could we do it in the classroom? Could we do it on the basketball court? Could we do it in the community? And not at the expense of a player's success. Mitch and his wife Connie are here with the president at the time, Dr. Todd and Patsy. Let me thank you for having the faith in me to run this program. Where are you guys? You're over here somewhere. Thanks, guys. As you can see, I have been blessed to have all those opportunities, but the reason I stand here is more about the players I've coached. I'm here because I coached the greatest group of kids over my time that anyone could ever imagine. I never grabbed a rebound. I never scored a point. I never had an assist. Now they tell me I had a few assists in some of the losses. But I'm going to do something here. We had a reception early, and a bunch of players came back, and we all got together. I'm going to ask you guys to all come up here with me. DeMarcus Cousins, you be the first guy. Come on. Let's go. Everybody up here. Come on. This is from Kentucky, Memphis, and Massachusetts. And I'm coaching. Let's go. Move, Harper Williams. Why you got your picture everywhere? I don't understand it. Come on, guys. Brian Long, you're still slow. Let's go. Now, I've got, as they're walking up here, let me thank their parents. Hey, Curtis. Let me thank their parents who had faith in me. And you're talking about parents that sacrifice for their children. And they entrusted me with their sons, and I want to thank them for believing in me and our staff. All right, now I want you to know this one. I want the players, please listen. Raise your hand if I held you back. Now, without looking, DeMarcus Cousins has 2 hands up. Every player I've ever coached says I held them back. I hope you guys all understand it was because everyone had to eat. You sacrificed for your brothers, and in turn, we won a lot of ball games and won a lot of championships. Now, to the UMass guys, I want to apologize in front of the world. When I got started as a head coach, I was 29 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I was trying to figure it out on the run, and I was a little mean. Probably not a great combination, I know. But I want to tell you, they all overcame me, and you guys took that program from where it was to the pinnacle, to the #1 program in the country. You took UMass from the bottom to 5 league championships, to an Elite 8, a Final Four, and you guys did that in spite of me. For the Memphis guys, you all thought I was crazy. Even Derrick Rose, who early in his freshman year called his boys in Chicago and said, "I think I'm playing for the devil." We were all crazy, but what made us crazy, what drove us, was the lack of respect. We were a great program and a terrific team, but the pundits said we couldn't do certain things. They said we couldn't be #1 team in the country, and we got there. League championships, a Final Four, and the championship game in 2008. And if I'd have called that timeout, we'd have won that game. To you Kentucky players, you can give it to them. You guys look at me and say, "He pushes me, he challenges me, he notices everything, he never lets up." But you want to talk to the UMass and Memphis players, and they'll swear that I've mellowed and I've gotten soft. And they'll tell you, you could have never played for the young me. I think they're embellishing, but I have so much respect for these Kentucky kids because the way they performed under the greatest of expectations and the brightest of lights. A lot of players run from this. You guys were inspired by it. While you were here, you went to Final Fours. You won numerous league championships, became the #1 team in the country multiple times, and won the national title in 2012. Congratulations to your run. And beyond the books, my hope is that the values we taught have served you all well. You learned about servant leadership. If you lead, you must serve. That character matters when groups of young men are depending on one another. That if you want to lead a joyful life, it's what you give, not what you take. And no one will steal our joy. And then, lastly, there's loyalty. Being your brother's keeper, standing up for your partner, knowing if you're loyal, you'll always have family. La familia. As I close, let me leave you with this message. I have learned throughout my career that coaching for fame and fortune is fleeting. If that's what you chase, you'll probably get fired like I did by the Nets. At the very least, if you do survive, it will be empty because you're chasing numbers. On the other hand, if you make sure others eat first, you'll end up eating more than you can ever eat. And by creating relationships with others, investing in their dreams and aspirations, chasing those dreams and aspirations with them, you become a dream fulfiller. And what's better than that? Thank you. God bless.